You know that one. Oh my goodness.
Good morning, everybody. It's a special day. It is Thursday instead of our normal Wednesday, April 9th, episode 000036. Super excited to have Nick Cooper here from NBVC Collective. Nick and I were classmates back at Virginia Tech Architecture School, 25 years ago. Put it a little bit in the show preview. Nick was a year ahead of me and the rest of my kind of group, and so we would just watch him and follow his level of intensity. I've never seen anyone with just such drive, such passion for what we do in the architecture school. And along the way, followed what Nick has been doing throughout his career in Richmond, Virginia. And then I think it was like, what, a month ago, you kind of spun off and you said, all right, this is what I'm doing. Does that sound about right?
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, it's a month officially when I signed the docs on the 13th, because I love 13. So yeah.
And as being one of the most passionate people I've ever met, Nick is so incredibly, beautifully passionate about MBVC. Let's hear what's it all about, man. What's the scoop?
Oh man,
it's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question. I've always got, and this is great because I've been working on the pitch and the why and the how and the what and the ask. Stay tuned till the end, because I'm going to make a really special announcement. I'd love for y'all to kind of stay till the end, and just wanted to kind of segue that. It's something near and dear to my heart, and why MBVC was created. It starts with fatherhood. I have two amazing teenage daughters that over the last couple of years, especially, they've always inspired me, but I have the most brave daughter I could ever ask for in Lynn, and I have the most creative and so much more in Emmy. And I've always had this dream ever since I worked with some great people at Virginia Tech junior year. We said we were going to start our own thing after college, and that was in 2002. And I always had a dream of that. And I charted my path architecturally with intention. My first firm was with BAM, the most beautiful community-driven firm. It was a mess. They had just started. I love you, Bert, Ann, and Mary, and Bill. It's what I needed. It was a close-knit firm. It was small. We were doing such great community work in Jackson Ward and all through the city, and I didn't even understand how important it was at the time. And then I left because I wanted to work for my best friend. It was a medium-sized firm, and there was a great design opportunity because I look for challenges and opportunities to challenge me. And I always wanted to go small, medium, large firm so I could have this perspective and start my own firm. And so I did really well at Odell, and it was great. I had a wonderful mentor, Roger Soto, who saw stuff in me that I had never even dreamed that I could do.
Odell's pretty large, right?
They were at the time.
Yeah.
At the time they were it. Healthcare, like everything,
right.
Like they were great. I was doing international work, doing a lot of China stuff, and I had some of the best working relationships with Jason Hendricks and a lot of great architects and designers that were driven. Culture was great, and the ownership changed, and then Roger wanted me to come to HOK for a long time, which I was like, why does he want me, man? I'm just this dude from Pennsylvania, small town. I can't hang at HOK. He believed in me. And then when he knew I wouldn't come to Houston, he said, go to a big firm. And I was looking at all of them, ZGF, Gensler, everybody in DC. And then I was enamored with Dan Noble, Fred Ortiz, and Dan's vision to kind of take HKS to the upper echelon of design to match its technical expertise. And I saw an opportunity to help. And what I didn't know was the best thing I ever did, two things at HKS is leading Citizen HKS and supporting that kind of social arm of HKS. It really reminded me of my time at BAM, and also cultivating a young generation of great designers. And I still have great pride how many years later, 10 years, they all kind of stay connected with me. They ask how I'm doing. I ask how I'm doing. The Hall, Divya, Zach, D. That's what drives me, is the next generation. And that's what really kind of led me to think that I could be a leader and more than an architect. And then I had Mike Nicholas teach me the business side of architecture. And I was finally figuring out like how the world works and not just designing beautiful pieces of objects and buildings. And then I wanted a more leadership opportunity, and Hanbury was so gracious with giving me the opportunity to build something from scratch, man. And David Keith and group, I love y'all. It'll always be one of the best things I'll ever do in my career. because it scared the shit out of me. Um, but we led with intention. On Natsumi, Marcos was a core, and we came together around community. We had worked on 3 projects at the time, and that's how the office in Richmond was formed, around community.
Yeah.
And it was 2 great years, and it was time for me to move on. And I look at that office specifically as my little baby, but it's growing up and it's doing great things. So kudos to y'all. Um, and then, LaBella, again, it's like LaBella and Odell merged 4 years ago. A good buddy of mine, Brad, said, "Hey, Nick, we'd love to have you. We've been looking for a strong leader to bring us back." Um, and it was so amazing to come back home because, I didn't want them to close the doors. I wanted, like, I was thinking about Jim Snyder and our time at Odell, and I was like, I can't have Odell go. And then obviously we had the ballpark come in, which was a project I had been working on for 18 years, literally when I was at Odell the first time.
It just
And it
opened,
helped,
right?
and it just opened,
That's so
opening day,
cool.
man. Like it, and it's like such full circle. And then in
Yeah.
January, things kind of settled down for me personally, and I got so much clarity and courage. And then my girls kept doing things to give me that courage. And then I couldn't like have them look me in the eyes as their father and say, "Daddy, you had a dream and you never went after it." So after that, MBVC was born. Um, and I just had to do it. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my time at LaBella. I'm grateful for my time everywhere, because it's positioned me to do something I'm really quite proud of. I've been on a cloud for the last month and a half, man.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm doing
what?
it for them. Yeah, I'm doing it for them because I feel like I've served so much. I've served other firms. I've served over 50 years of combined nonprofit experience, and now it's time to serve my girls and build something on the Berandini legacy, with which Paolo Berandini, I didn't know, got the purple heart, purple star, and it's going to get passed down to me, and just the gravity of that. It's like I want to do something special for the Berandini, which is my grandma, who is one of the strongest woman I love her now, my nanny. And then Vogelsong, my grandfather, who's my first father figure. He passed away 10 years ago because cancer and complications, but he was joy. Uh, and he believed in me too. So that's why Nicholas, self, Berandini, grandmother, Vogelsong, grandfather, Cooper, mother. It's me. And I'm finally comfortable in who I am and what I have to give to the world.
Love it, man. Well, I want to circle back on like more of the specifics of what the vision is and what you're working on. But
Mhm.
I'm curious about, because all the firms you worked for were in Richmond, right? Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
So you grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up
Mhm.
in Richmond, Virginia. So
It's beautiful.
I
Yeah.
never lived in Richmond after school. Growing up in Richmond, Virginia in the 90s, that place was lame, man. It was not
It was
cool.
it was different. It was different. Yeah.
And
It
then
was
I
different.
remember at Virginia Tech, or maybe after I moved to Chicago, there was like a New York Times article that the headline was, "When did Richmond get cool?" And the joke was, as soon as Dave moved away or something. Because that
No,
design
no way.
community, I don't know what happened, but maybe it's VCU, the arts department, and like Geico was invented in Richmond. Like all this, the arts community has just been so ridiculously powerful. So clearly, like, and you guys are a pretty tight knit design community,
Very,
it seems like,
very,
right? There's a
very.
lot of
Yes,
firms in
very.
Richmond, but you guys
Yeah, a
all
lot of
get
great
along
firms.
pretty well.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I mean, the AIA does a great job. Like just the culture. I mean, I just had 3 great X amount of conversations with design partners that, and that's the thing, like the first couple weeks, it was every hour I get a text, call, like message, like, "Hey Nick, how can I help?" Or, "I'm here for you. Like we believe in you. We thought you were gonna do this years ago." Like the just the support that I didn't even know I had, and it's mostly design partners and people in the industry that they know what I'm about, and they know what, it starts with community, and it ends with community. And now we can really chart that passion, because and that intention, because if you think about it, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, who's inspired me over the years? Carlos Scarpa.
Hmm.
Technically gifted, but craft. So you think about the intersection of Carlos Scarpa, big, big, bold ideas that challenge norms, and then Mass Design Group. That is what MBVC Collective will be the intersection of, right? Craft, big vision, and all about community and socially responsible things.
I love it. And you were originally, after school, planning to move to Chicago, right?
Man, I wanted to go to Chicago so bad. Like, I love Chicago so much. I was a big Michael Jordan fan. I rock Jays all day. Dude, like, he's the one. Like, I was like, yo, I want to be that in architecture. Like, my drive and passion comes from Jordan. So if you're listening, Mike, I would love to,
He is.
shake your hands, man. Like, and just thank him. Just thank him for inspiring not even someone in athletic. I mean, I tried to play hoops and I'm decent, but thank you for inspiring a kid to want to be great.
Yeah.
Like, in design and architecture, and we're giving back to the community. So thank you.
I got to see him.
I wanted to go to Chicago, man. I wanted to go to Chicago. Like, so that's the thing. But I met a wonderful girl at Virginia Tech, and she's from Richmond. I'm like, what the hell is Richmond? And back in 2002, because me, I was gonna go to New York or Chicago, LA. I'm like, all right, cool. But she's awesome. So let's figure out what Richmond is.
Well,
anyway, you so
yeah. So I went your original plan, and I moved to Chicago.
You did, man. I'm jealous. That's why.
I don't know. Yeah. You have a little bit more soul and energy left than I do, I think.
My energy is fading, I think.
Well, I had Joe Cliggett on the show, who's actually with HKS now.
Awesome.
In Chicago.
Office?
Yeah. And
I love the Chicago studio, man. I know so many great people out there. Anthony used to be there. I think he's now in Dallas doing bigger things. Chicago is awesome.
With Joe told a really interesting story because, so I'm going to go somewhere with this and not just ramble, I promise.
This is your show, man.
That's true. I can do whatever I want. It's our show right now. So, so I moved to Chicago in 2003. Virginia Tech people there, Bridget Baker, Evan Thomas, awesome. Who are now, I think,
who are now both in Richmond.
Yeah, they're both in Richmond. They're in Richmond. Okay,
Bridget's leading health and a lot of great things at HKS Richmond, which is awesome.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, because she was at Skidmore, and then Evan was he was at Hedrick Blessing doing architectural photography. Patrick Brannigan, I don't know if you knew him. And then a young Paul DeSantis, who I didn't really know too well. He's high level at Getch. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Other than that, I don't think there was any Virginia Tech people in Chicago. Since then, Virginia Tech is huge there.
I retort. Rob Berner, Christine Lofton, my two G's from my class, like, they're in Chicago. I go and see them as much as I can. But so look them up. They're really great. Yeah.
And
that's why we're here. We're sharing information.
It was a tough community to get into because I interviewed when I interviewed for Optima. So you had firms that spun off from SOM, and you had firms that spun off from Murphy Young, and you had firms that were Mies, and those were somewhat related to Murphy Young. So you kind of had three different tracks, and pretty much they were all fed by IIT. So when I interviewed at Optima, I sat down with my resume, and Matt Sison looked at it, and he goes, well, we usually only hire people that went to IIT. And Jay Stoker taught me just to say whatever I want to say. So I said, well, you got to stop doing that.
That's my guy. Yes. Jay Stoker, let's sidebar him for a minute. We need to talk about him, but
we definitely need to talk about Jay, no question. And then the second guy came in to interview me, and his name is Bill Duke, and Bill was just awesome. And Bill sits down and he goes, Virginia Tech? I went to Virginia Tech. And I was like, yes. So that was my first interviewed hired job in Chicago. It was really hard for me to break in. And
you did, though, man. You made it. Like, that's the hard things that really make you who you are, and I admire you. And even 5 minutes before this, I was like, man, I need you as a mentor. Like, I'm gonna call you all the time, Dave. Like, we need to make this successful. Like, you've been grinding for 20 years, man. So kudos to you.
I appreciate that, and I'll talk about that. I have the opposite. This is like a yin and yang, like opposite origin stories as well. So when I talk about that, so then I had like, I think I sold my car when I moved to Chicago. So I had $8,000, and I was making $36,000 a year as an entry-level architect. But I rented this awesome 4-bedroom apartment in Lincoln Park on Burling Street. and all by myself. And I'm like, I'm just going to rent it and I'll find roommates. And as a result, Kenny Maruyama moved out, Dan VM moved out, Christopher Lawton moved out. Chris and Kenny are still there. Dave Schlecht moved out for a while and stayed with it. James stayed with us. James Lancia, like all these people from our class at Virginia Tech started moving, and like, why not? Dave's got this apartment.
Hell yeah.
If
That's
we have
dope,
enough
man.
people living here, that reduces the rent. And we actually, Kenny, I think, lived in like a pantry, and our landlord busted us. Like, that's not a bedroom. You have too many people living in that house.
I mean, that's
magical.
That's how resourceful we are, man. Like we slept on our desk, under our desk, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was the same idea, and we were all working, and all of us worked for different firms too. It was very, very cool.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And then my reverse origin story to you is you're starting your company as your girls are in high school. I started my company. My twin boys will be 14 in a couple of weeks.
Man, that's insane. Congratulations. Twin boys, and you started your company.
That's how delirious I was. I was like, I can't commute to work. I need to figure out something else to do. This isn't going to work. I can't work 10-hour work days, at an office. Who's going to take care of these kids?
Yeah.
So mine was born. Yours was born out of passion and learning, and mine was kind of built out of delirious necessity.
Hey, a little bit of that I have too. We'll just keep it at that. But man, that's what I appreciate about the journeys. Like, that's what life is about. Everybody has a different journey, and if you could just like lean in and share and actually be vulnerable and say, hey, this was challenging because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, I love that, because one of the really big things I want to do through the collective is have just a space for people to talk and grow, and maybe specifically fatherhood, because I just want to get so many great fathers together, and just fathers that just want to be a little better and just have conversations. And that's what the collective is going to be about. It's not an architecture firm. It's a place for everyone. That's why I named it a collective, because again, it's like I've done so much great things thanks to the opportunities. I'm going to be in the shadows now. This is going to be about our partners that we're working with. Ashley Blankenship, who is my yin to my yang. When you're building a team, and I've done it twice now, and I'm going to do it 3 times, you understand your weaknesses, and you grab people that fill those weaknesses greatly. And Ashley Blankenship, man, I can't even tell you. First of all, I don't even know how I have a partner already after a month. If I could just talk about her for a minute, she inspires me so much. We met through nonprofit support and give back and work, so we're aligned. It's what we believe in. She's this badass. She got so many offers around the city, and she chose the collective, and for that, I'm forever grateful. But man, like, you think about me and the vision and the design, and she is the implementation. Comes from a construction background, and now we're going to design build. We're going to design build projects, like smaller projects too. And there's stuff that we were going to do anything and everything to help our community. So my point is, Ash, if you're listening, if you're not, we just built the foundation of something great because of you and our partnership. And so that's where we are, man. And let's go to talk to Jay a little bit, if you don't mind. Can we talk about Jay?
Oh, like, yeah.
You share a story, and then I want to share a story, so everybody knows who Jay is, man.
So Jay was he passed away a couple years ago, but he was a renowned professor at Virginia Tech who taught foundation year, first and second year primarily. So I had him in first year. He didn't do second year after our first year. I don't think he wanted anything to do with us. Did you have him both first and second year?
I never made it to the architecture program. I had to go through summer lab.
Oh, okay. So
I had him second year.
Yeah. So, and he comes in with a mind eraser device. It makes you forget everything that you've ever learned about the world and you start from scratch. So, our first project was to write 6 pages about an onion. And then he would read it, call you into his office, and tell you whether or not you should be an architect.
Yeah. No, dude. Like, Jay was the most inspiring. I was dead scared of this man. Because he he expected excellence above excellence. And like, I'll never forget, he would have change of major forms on people's desks if he didn't think you were like up to snuff. And I'm like, yo, I'm like looking over here. I'm like, I'm just drawing over here. Don't mind me, Jay. But there's two things I want to tell you and the whole audience. Jay Stoker is a GOAT. Rest in peace. I hope you're in the stars. One, it was a great kind of prompt at the end of the second year, and I built this model and I thought it was pretty good. He said it was crap. But like, there's fifth years that would come down and be like, yo, like Jay told me that to come see your work. And I'm like, what? You're a fifth year. I'm a second year. What's going on here? And so he showed me that I actually could do it by not telling me. Right.
Yeah.
And then when I was in fourth year, you know, when you go and do, at the time, I was grateful enough to get into the residency program with Catherine Albright, who's another GOAT. I came back even more determined because I didn't see the world before then. I didn't see anything past Harrisburg and Jersey. I didn't know anything about the world.
Yeah.
And then you just give me the history of everything. And architecturally, I was like, I couldn't help myself. And I was with my best friends. So my point is, I came back, and so a lot of people would lighten up their load and do something real chill in the spring. I came in, dude, I almost cut my finger off. And I'll never forget Jay before my review. Catherine, everybody was telling him to come in and see my work. He came in, he gave me a look. He said, keep going. And I knew I was doing something decent because that dude scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, he wasn't one. I mean, he ego wasn't a thing. He would destroy any level of confidence whatsoever. Because you could always keep going. And he challenged you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I was in studio the night you cut your finger off at 3 o'clock.
Oh, you were? Oh,
you were gouging. Lisa. Weren't you like gouging?
I was up for 4 days in a row, dude. I was, and I had I was going up in the lobby, dude. I had this hotel. It was freaking nasty.
Blood.
Yeah. Blood everywhere. They called the cops. They thought it was a crime scene. And I was like, you know what I said when I finally got up? Like, my girl, Erin, took me, thank you, my love, took me to the hospital, obviously. And I think Lisa actually took me. Lisa Wentz. Thank you very much, Lisa. Blood everywhere. And Erin comes back and I was like, yo, I got a little bit more work to get the model done and stuff. I had been up for 4 days or whatever. And she gives me sleeping pills, makes me go to sleep. I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And I get up and I'm like, oh, you know, and thankfully, I think some people put up my stuff or whatever. And man, I was driven. Fourth year, you know, because listen, I'm not the smartest. I'm not the most skilled. I grew up on a farm. I grew up waiting tables.
Jay loved farmers.
I know, man.
He made us raise our hand. Like, who here is a farmer? And I remember Tim was the only one, and he raised his hand. He's like, "You're gonna make it." That kid ended up going into engineering.
I know. Anyway, man, I'm still salty about being second at Pella, and I shouldn't have been, but that drove me too. Like, second place is the first loser. It was political.
I was nowhere close to Pella.
We're not going to go into that here. We got more to talk about.
Well, do you remember any of Jay's jokes, like his quips when he would just tear someone apart? I got one.
No, because I was
terrified.
You go ahead. You're more mature than I was.
So, and we're still, and I'm sure you're the same way. Everyone is really close who was in Jay's studio together. It's like being surviving a plane crash together. You've just been through this traumatic experience, and you just have to get together and have beers and be like, "What was wrong with this guy?" So I remember, it was Rich Brittingham. He was always picking on Rich because Rich was from Connecticut. Not there's anything wrong with Connecticut, but he would just roll in, and he was not afraid of Jay. And I think Jay kind of appreciated it because Rich would just kind of goof around a little bit. Like, he wasn't a joker. And he was going into landscaping. He designs golf courses now and lives in DC.
That's
awesome,
cool.
dude. If you're watching, Rich.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Rich.
But Jay comes in, it was like before our first pin up, and he's explaining, like, we're going to pin our work up, and there's going to be a critique, and you're going to bring it and put it on the floor, and we're going to talk about it. And Rich just raises his hands, and he goes, "Are there going to be snacks and stuff?" And like, Jay's like, "What?" Like, this is a very professional, high-level conversation. Snacks and stuff. But you can just see it in his eyes. And Rich's
just fire.
Rich's full name is Richmond. So Jay turns and he goes, no, Richmond, there are not going to be snacks and stuff.
That's perfect, Jay, man. Oh my God. I would have left.
Yeah.
That's what kids say is like negative aura these days. So
Right. It was, well, and then there was one more is also involving Rich, because we had to make like a site model in whatever way out of cardboard, and most people make like, you know,
Stacks.
whatever, the contour stacks, and Rich, it's like a square box.
Yeah.
And Jay walks over and he picks it up off the ground, and he looks at it and he goes, so where exactly on the planet Earth, Richmond, are we going to find this rectilinear crater?
Yo, oh my God. Like if we said that right now, oh my gosh. Oh,
I loved it.
I loved it.
I don't know why
loved
those
it.
things stick
Man.
with me, but he was always overly kind to me. It used to drive him crazy. He told me at one point, he's like, I don't understand how such a typical American, just like frat boy from Richmond guy, can be a decent designer. Like, how does this work? I like blew his mind. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. Enough, because I've had Scott Edmonston on the show, who's Jay, and we started talking about Jay and stuff like that too. But let's dig into MBVC a little bit more. So I think what's really fascinating about it, there's a couple like really awesome keywords that I love about it, right? Community obviously is a huge part of that. I think the civic aspects of it are huge. Housing, I think you talked about housing a little bit there. And you're talking about nonprofits. So you're connecting the dots across a lot of very intriguing areas. So,
and it goes back to, again, what are we passionate about? What are our skill sets and expertise, and how can we help, right? And so we have a strong passion for a home. We believe that everybody deserves the opportunity to own a safe, affordable home. And that's our commitment. And so we're going to do design build ADUs and renovations, that sort of thing, all the way to master planning big, complex, like development opportunities and everything in between. We call them senior housing, affordable housing. Ashley's got LIHTC, HUD expertise. She's, again, a badass. Housing. Everybody deserves one. Like, because when I was growing up, we bounced around. We didn't have a lot of money, and it's just like we had never had community. And that's why like community like fills my heart, because I feel like I'm a part of Richmond now, and I feel like I've given back so much because I love it. I always want to leave something better than when I left it, right, or when I joined, and that includes my life. So, and Richmond, I fell in love with. For a long time, I wanted to leave Richmond. I'm sorry. I thought there was better opportunities elsewhere, but man, Richmond is it, and I'll be here for forever because my girls are born and raised here, and that matters too. I'm not born and raised here, but I feel like I've given a lot, and maybe I can be considered Richmonder sometime soon.
That's not easy. You gotta have deep roots to that southern city.
Man. You get it, man. Like maybe you can adopt me. Can you adopt me?
There's a lot of Pollards in Richmond, that's for sure. I'm one of 7.
I'll add another name to my name. Like I'm changing my name already. Like it's gonna be Nicholas Barandini Vogelsong Cooper. If you want me to add Pollard, I'll do that too.
Well, so down here in Raleigh, it's the opposite, right? Like it's a huge transplant city. So it's always exciting to meet someone who's from Raleigh, born and raised. And you guys where do you guys live? Do you live in the city?
So Erin, who's the mother of our 2 amazing children, she lives on the south side in Walton Lake. That's where we raised our children. And then I live on north side Bellevue in a remarkable neighborhood, walkable, beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it's just a joy. And the girls get to experience those 2 environments, a great suburban environment and a great urban walkable environment. And I'm really happy for the girls to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that like Erin and I have such a great co-parenting relationship. It brings me joy. So thank you, Erin.
And you get kind of the 2. I mean, North Side's super cool, and we didn't spend too much time there when we were growing up because
it wasn't that great, right?
Yeah.
Well, Bellevue was a little bit. But,
beautiful old homes, beautiful parks, like just really, really super cool. But growing up in Richmond, I mean, remember our Little League fields were like 15 minutes from our house. I used to drive my mom crazy. She's like, oh my God, I have to drive all the way out there. So we just didn't leave our bubble. We're West End, so we're like University of Richmond.
University of Richmond? Awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Like I just don't know that. That's cool. Oh, awesome. Okay. What high school did you go to?
Freeman.
Okay, it was Freeman. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's
Still
not
Freeman.
Midlothian, but it's still Freeman. Hey,
Yeah,
Midlothian.
sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. That's my girl. So I'm a girl dad. So
No beef with Midlow. It's all good.
good,
Uh,
good.
um,
Uh,
so okay, so where are you guys? Are you guys? How are you stewarding these projects? Is it
yeah.
advisory? Are you guys
So
just
there's
doing
the thing.
development? Okay.
So here's the mechanism. Like typical traditional architecture design and
Hmm.
implementation, we're going to do that. We're going to have projects. We already have a couple. We're also going to advise and have special projects with organizations around the city to again lean into our expertise. Like I'm big vision, I'm strategic planning, I'm high
Yep.
level problem solving, like complex things, right? So my hope is to help Richmond City do look at big sticky things like broad streets revitalization, like
Yeah.
city centers revitalization, like the bottom, and just like support however I can, whether that's through the EDA or through Richmond City or through the mayor's office or just like doing research projects. Because every summer, what we're going to build is at least three uh, what's traditionally called interns, but it's going to be called the 2026 Summer Collective. I'm going to have a traditional architecture as part of the collective. I'm gonna have a data analyst as part of the collective, and I'm gonna have probably not this year, but next year we'll have someone that is focused on brain health. And so just intersecting health, wellness, just the joy of living, people focused design, whether it's through projects, advising, consulting, or my hope is we start to develop too. So we're developing, we're designing, building, and curating community projects. And the third bucket is design build. And so that we have a lot of different revenue streams to be nimble. And we're creating partnerships with other architecture firms to scale up, right? We already have
Hmm.
three partnerships, and you'll really appreciate this. We always talked about what is partnerships, and I've been so grateful to partner with great firms like ZGF and like some architecture firms and like so I know how partnerships sometimes are worked, but like I want to do it a little differently. So I feel like I'm really good at relationship building and bringing in work. And so my idea is like 50-50 for, SD and 50-50 for CA. Because now with Ashley, we are experts in designing and delivering. And then 10 to 25% in between to help, shepherd the project. And the benefit of the partner firms is they get 60% of the fee and they don't have to do anything from a marketing standpoint. And obviously we'll be aligned based on what our expertise is. But that's the client that the client doesn't have to worry about that. That'll already be solved. So I already
Nice.
have a partnership with a large firm to do large projects. I have two partnerships with medium-sized firms. I'm talking to another firm. And they're not all in the same place. I got one in Baltimore, one in Charlottesville, hopefully one in Richmond. We're going to talk. But that's how we're going to scale up the projects because I want MBVC Collective to not, I want us to be small and nimble and be experts and supported every summer by a collective of great young minds pushing research topics and things that will help our city, help our community, and help push the industry and design thinking forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, and my question, I think you kind of answered it there, but my question is, as you start something in your lineage, and everything that you've learned, and at some point, I don't know how long after 20 years of working, someone finally explained to you the business of how an architecture firm runs, because no one's ever told me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, exactly. You have to figure that out. I mean, I
Right.
like Mike Nicholas helped me understand the value of really the like thinking through the client's business first. Great architecture will come, right?
Mhm.
That's just what we do. It's about adding value to our stakeholders, our partners first. So he really made me understand that. And then doing Hanbury, man, David was so gracious. He said I didn't need to bring in work the first couple months, but I wanted to. I did because but so he kind of eased me in, and I kind of like, we put a business plan together and stuff. So I learned a lot in Hanbury. For me, I wouldn't be able to do today without Hanbury, and I wouldn't be able to do today without LaBella or anyone. Um, I've learned, and that's the thing. Every year I reflect at the end of the year. I look at my goals, which I always have three: one attainable, one tough to get to, but probably will, and three unrealistic for that year. And then I mark in December how close was I to that unrealistic goal. Um, so I'm driven, I'm goal oriented, but it's for finally, like, I can make sure it's pure, right? And here's where I'm saying it's going to start as an LLC. We're going to go to a B Corp, which is a social enterprise, and we're going to have a board of directors. We're going to have a nonprofit arm, and we are going to raise money now. Like, part of our contracts, every contract, including the first one we sent a couple weeks ago, a percentage of our fee is going to go into a fund, 3 to 23%, depending on the project, to an investment fund that will start to grow today into being the pool of money to support the nonprofit on day one. And that will funnel money to RPS because we believe in our future, in education, cancer research. It's a little personal to me, but I know we need more of it, and brain health. And the third is really special. All three are special. Investing in the next generation of entrepreneurial creatives, because next year I want to have a brick and mortar, and it's going to be an MBVC Collective space. It might be part of a space, but the space will be a space for people to come together and be on a stage and tell their stories, or listen to music, or be around other creatives, or just be a home that you can be yourself and come up with ideas and be heard, and people not judge you, and people not assume things. That's the goal, 1 year goal. We're going to get there.
Yeah. And I think, so I think you answered it, but what I was like, this is an alternative, like, to a traditional architecture firm. You've worked for traditional architecture firms. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You're not saying that's totally broken. You're just saying, I want to go in this direction with it. I'm not trying to throw traditional architecture under the bus like I have maybe at times, just in that model. But what's really cool about this is episode 36 of this show. There is kind of a theme series of different people that have been on the show who I would consider really brilliant leaders and designers who came from architecture school. Some of them came from Jay's studio, who have taken everything that they've learned and started to apply it to a different model, whether it be design build, or Eric Schlickman, who is on, and he designs and builds a bunch of restaurants and operates them, right? So there's different paths to go, and still be involved in design that are outside of maybe, the traditional architecture firm model. Is that fair to say? Like, you've kind of learned all these different things, and you're seeing your value in the world and how you can apply that for the better, right?
And you're right. And it's exactly how we're going to bring new people on. Like, what drives you? What's your passion? What is your why? And what is your expertise? What are you damn good at, right? And, now that I have basically my ops / get shit done lead / brilliant mind from a construction background, my next target, and the ad's going to come out soon, is for a creative designer and a strategic creative designer. And I'm just saying, this person will be leading every design project within the MBVC Collective. It will be the extension of our vision together, because that's the next piece we need, because we're already winning projects, and I can't even believe it. Like, I sent proposal in that'll get signed last night. And it's just incredible. So that's my next, because I'm going to have an ecosystem around me, a strategic creative director. I'm going to have just strategic minds that will lead community. I'll have a strategic community lead. I'll have Jerome, you're it. I'll have a strategic innovation lead. I'll have a strategic data analyst lead. I'll have a strategic design lead, and just craft great things and come together and support our ecosystem, man.
Is there a similar model for a company that you've been able to look at?
I have no idea. I hope so, because I hope this isn't unique, but I feel like it's unique because it's coming from 23 years of intentionality and 5 years of great design education, and an endless amount of people that have inspired me, that have challenged me. I hope this is unique, but I also hope, like, people, and I haven't even said where I'm, like, Rich was started Virginia. He's so gracious to say, "Hey, Nick, we see the inspiration. You can be have a home at 1717." And you know what 1717 is? It's a hub for entrepreneurs.
Cool.
And the ideas and the things. It's not creative entrepreneurs. It's like these cats are going to be millionaires in a couple months. And just the energy has been different. And there's so many people to thank. There's so many people to be really grateful for, and I never forget that.
I would,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just I'm learning as I go on this show. That's why
Yeah.
it's so much fun. Like the company that pops into my mind is IDEO.
IDEO. Yes, I think I've heard. Where are they based out of?
I don't even know anymore because I haven't heard a whole lot about them. But
Yeah.
I was always intrigued because they're just a multidisciplinary design
Yeah.
firm that solves
Yeah.
everything from hunger crises
Yeah. Yes.
to housing and data
Yes.
and that. Like there's so many different pieces and shopping
Thank you
cart
for that.
design.
Yes. Yes. I mean,
definitely
we're
have
putting
an
an event together.
Yeah.
David, look at this.
Right.
We're putting an event together on behalf of the city to bring in an expert from Boston, talk about safe streets, walkability, health, and longevity. So you try to ask somebody, do you not want to live longer? They're going to say, hell yes. There is data around walkability, great people focused, focused design, and another Ann Sussman, you're brilliant. And we're going to have her come down to Richmond, and we're on behalf of the city, we're putting people together because that's one of the things I think I'm great at is just bringing people together and connecting. I've connected so many things like just for the betterment of Richmond, just because, like, why not Richmond? Like, I was tired of getting dogged and hearing like, oh, Richmond is X, Y, and Z. I'm like, no, we're great. Um, so anyway, yeah.
Hey, another kind of question that popped into my head, and this isn't like, I'm just, do you read a lot or are you just always making?
I'm always making, man.
Yeah,
and I know
I'm
I got to read
similar.
more. I've
Yeah.
had so many people send me so many great books that I need to read, but like it's like music, and I love music so much. Music inspires me.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about this to my girl and and Ashley, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm missing out on being educated or getting a little bit more, I don't know, lack of a better word, book smart. But music inspires me, and like it just inspires me. So
yeah, I was like, I don't really enjoy reading, and I'm not good at finishing books. And people
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
me a billion books to read, and
So are you gonna throw me another book?
no,
is that
I
what we're
was
getting to?
gonna.
Okay.
If you were a reader, I wanted to know what book
Yeah.
you were reading or a book
Oh,
that you absolutely loved, right? Because just
well,
seeing your mind work,
hold
I'm
on.
like, I
Yeah.
wonder,
Hold on. Let me
what.
just turn you around here.
Yeah.
I don't know if did I just go away?
You did, but you're back.
Okay.
And on
Sorry.
that
Yeah.
on that note, because
Oh my gosh, we're 42 minutes.
we're
Oh
over
my
time as
gosh.
usual, but we
Yeah.
definitely want to save some time. I want to know what's
Oh
going on
man.
that board behind you, and then you had some other stuff you want to make sure we talk about too.
It's just like you prep, right? You prep, you're prepared, and
I
I
don't.
don't. Does this look backwards to you?
No,
By
it's
the way,
right. No,
okay.
it's correct.
Like again, it's like MBVC might come from my heritage, but it's find the need in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in the good in that need and drive it forward. All voices matter because that's where innovation lives. All my teams I've built, very diverse teams. C, continuously cultivate community. So that's what MBVC means, right? And when people ask me what it means, I'm going to say first, what does it mean to you, and based on what your need is and how we can help. That's the first thing, because I don't want people to know it's my last names or whatever, but it is what it is. And then my two babies that I'm doing this for, Lynn, BBC, and Emmy BBC, housing education community, just a reminder, LLC to B Corp. Like, Ashley, the most amazing first partner I could ever have, like design and implementation, cancer research, RPS, like just the framework, just to remind myself, because I got to pitch this to people that, you know, 13 and how important that is, and rockets going into the stars. So, but there's two things I really want to say. I put this shirt on, and I didn't know that I was going to put it on. Storefront for Community Design, something that I'm really inspired. I've been a part of 13 years, and we had to say goodbye to it because of some federal funding issues and other stuff. But this is for them. This is for that. Like, I feel like I'm an extension, and the MBVC Collective is an extension of that. If you don't know what Storefront is, we'll educate you. And then my girls, you always want to make an ask, I think. So on behalf of the Midlothian Theater Partisans, somehow these wonderful women that have started this asked me to be their honorary, I don't know, person who gets money, because I've done it a lot in nonprofits. So please, there's going to be a great show. Yes, my 2 daughters are in it, but so many other fantastic kids that are just finding themselves in theater, and it's so inspiring to see. Um, Go to the website, get your VIP tickets. For every VIP ticket that is bought through here, I'll buy another one and give it to somebody, because we need them all sold. And then I'm going to come back and ask for bigger money and more money for next year, because these kids and I'll tell you, the great new teacher they got, gosh, she's so inspirational, and everybody rallies around her, and she's a great leader. Um, ah, we'll share the link. Thank you for the time, Dave. Thank you for the moment. Thank you, audience, for being here. Dave, back at you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll put the link in the show notes for sure. Man, we could just keep going for forever, because I want to keep digging and digging and digging. But any last Jay stories?
Jay stories, man. Like, I think we should honor Jay and get together. Whoever had Jay, like, do this, like, hey, Beacon, like, everybody come together, just market. Maybe it's a Zoom, maybe it's through your channel. Can you do like 1 million Jay people in your host and just go around and talk about Jay stories?
It's funny, because we ended up, my company, my business partner Russ and I joined a peer group years ago, Remodelers Advantage. And then a company out of Charlottesville. I don't know if you don't know them, you should go out and get together with Dan and Zach. Alloy,
oh my gosh,
architecture and construction. Yeah,
I've been meaning to. I'm gonna come up talk. So
yeah, Dan went to Virginia Tech, and
I love Dan, man.
He's a great dude. Yeah, because he's involved with Virginia AIA as well.
Yeah.
So the first time we met, he's like, I went to Virginia Tech. I'm like, perfect. And then for whatever reason, whenever anybody goes to Virginia Tech Architecture School and you had Jay, you bring it up. And like, did you ever have Jay? And Dan had Jay. And we're like, oh my God.
Man.
Yeah.
It's like, people don't know, but they will know now. Like, that's the cool thing.
The Stokelites are everywhere, as we used to call them.
Stokelites.
Just, yes, a very special man that was a bit of a tortured artist. And I think he taught us that's not always great, because we look at him and we appreciated how he challenged us and brought to us. But at the same time, it's like, I don't really want to necessarily be that guy.
Yeah.
It's the old, if you're truly a cynic, then maybe you should be cynical about your own cynicism. Right.
Yes. Dude, like, I got one really good story. So, he smoked. He would like have two. He'd be like bang, 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 bang. And me as a kid, I used to throw my mother's cigarettes away because I knew they were bad, and I like wanted to take, like, just the thought of me like throwing his cigarettes away, man. I was like, I don't want to be struck by like a dragon fire or some shit. Like, anyway, so Mom, I love you. Like, this is like, Mom, I love you. You inspired me to do so much. This is for you too, Nanny, everybody. I just have so many people to thank, and so many people, including you, Dave. Thank you for this time, man.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. It's great to catch up, and we're gonna keep the conversation going and follow along. And another thing I was curious about, I imagine, especially when it comes into housing, and especially nonprofit and things like that, there should be a lot of grant money available. So I imagine there's stuff in that world where that well, just being in the civic world.
That's one of the we're going to understand where money can come from, how we get and support. We're going to grant write. Again, we're here to help make things happen that need to happen.
Love it, man.
Great point, man. Great point. When do we get together again? Because you fired me up, and I want to learn from you. I want to ask the questions next.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. We'll figure it out. All right,
Nick. Thanks again for being here, man. Let me get this button working. And the outro video. Here we go. Or the song. Did you like the song? Nice. I meant to ask you.
I did.
It wasn't We Built This City on Rock and Roll.
I know. That was for Whitney, bro. Like, we built this city. Nah, that's funny.
All right, man. Thanks again. We'll talk soon. Later.
All right, peace.